I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. I didn't. Okay. I don't know if I want to tell you guys this because I don't want you guys to think I was cheating on you. But I would tell you because it's over, so it doesn't mean anything anymore. Do you guys want to know? Don't you dare do the coffee a disservice. Drink that shit. I will. It was like 32 degrees was the lowest. Yeah, I froze my butt off. I was following a subathon while you were gone. Saw the insane part of Twitch. That person just finished a 5-day long stream. Could be your future. Oh my god. Jazzy subathon. Did you fall for a Yahoo chat room over us? Okay, so I wanted to go on a date, right? So I never met this person, but we found each other online. And then I went on this. I was supposed to go on a dinner date with him Saturday night. I never met this person. We just met over the internet. But we had talked for a while, so I felt pretty safe. And my cousin was dropping me off. She was going to the restaurant nearby. So everything was all, like, set up. I ended up being late, okay, to this date. And I'm, like, very lackadaisical, laid back. You know, I've lived in California almost my whole life. And everyone's very, like, relaxed. That is not what it was like for New Yorkers. He was pissed. Almost thought I thought I was going to cancel. So he left and walked 30 minutes 3 miles away to another bar. And I was thought, because he said, I'll wait for you there, because we missed the reservation. I mean, we were going to make it, but he was pissed that I wasn't going to be able to be there on the dot. I said, I think I'll be there at like 10:02. Right? I was still going to be there, but I was going to be a few minutes later. We were supposed to meet at 9:30. So I was like, I called them. I said, look, this is not, I'm getting a ride with my cousin. It was a miscalculation on time, how it's going to take from Jersey to New York City, Manhattan. Okay? So I was out of control of the time frame. But I told them we'll still try to like make it work. I understand he was upset. Whatever. It's fine. But ever since that point, because I did meet up with him eventually, I did walk 40 minutes in the dark by myself in a city I never knew, because I thought he was gonna meet up at a bar next to the restaurant and wait for me, and then we'll figure out another place to eat or something. He walked 40 minutes to the closest bar. That was what close was to him. And I was in heels. Okay? So I only met him once at that point. He picked me up from the airport. That's it. So when he told me, I'll just meet, I'm not going to wait 30 minutes for you to get here outside. So I'm going to sit down. I'm going to go to a bar, sit down and have a drink. I'm not going to walk in a minute after 10 o'clock to that restaurant. So I'm just going to be at a bar. I said, okay. Okay, fine. We'll figure it out, right? And then, I know, we walk over here at these ghosts. Clearly, I thought he was going to go to a bar right next door. There were so many bars and restaurants nearby that were still open. I know, because I walked it. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I get there, I call him, because he sent me the address. I said, this is a 40-minute walk. It's 10 o'clock. What? I thought you said you were going somewhere close. Okay, let me finish. Because, yes, I was late, okay? The reservation was for 10 o'clock, okay? We left Montclair in New Jersey at 9:15. We should have left at 9, but she had a dinner reservation at 9:30, so we thought it was going to take 20 minutes to get there. And he was supposed to meet me at my cousin's restaurant at 9:30. Okay? He was supposed to be at the restaurant at 9:30. And we were going to walk from that restaurant over to the second restaurant. But when I found out, we actually left a little later than we were supposed to, and it was going to take longer, because I don't know anything about this place, okay? I don't know anything about these places. So I was going off of my cousin's knowledge of the spot, but she thought she was leaving from a different location, so she miscalculated the time, and as soon as I found out, I told him. And I said, and I even asked her if she could drop me off at the restaurant. She said, yes, I don't mind being late. Like, I'll drop you off at the restaurant, so at least he can be there at 10, and you guys will both be there at 10. You won't be able to walk there, but he'll be there at 10. So when I told him this, he got pissed. And I understood. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I know. Now you have to walk alone. But at least I'll be there at 10, but he didn't want me to get there at 10. He said, actually, like, there's no point. Because if we're in a minute after 10, I don't want to do it. It's inconsiderate. I said, okay, fine. Fine. I understand. But I still really want to see you. Like, I know we had this plan, but I really want to see you. So then that's when he told me that I'm going to go walk to a bar nearby and I'll let you know when I wind up. I said, oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, he's mad. He's going to be like wasted by the time I get there and it's going to be weird and I'm going to have to like figure something else out. So I get there at the restaurant at 10 o'clock and then he sends me the address. I look for it. It's a 40-minute walk. So I'm like, oh shit, like this is close? Is this close for more normal people? And then, yeah, I don't know. So I decided, I was like, you know what? I am late. I'm just going to do the walk. I'll see a little bit of New York, although it's not a good look. I was like hoping that maybe he could meet up with me halfway, like we'll walk to the rest of the way together or something. So I'm not just by myself. Anyway, he was just upset. And so I just wanted to accommodate since like, you know, we had this out, planned in advance. I get to the bar and he's already wasted, chopping it up with his bartender lady. So it was a place that he went to a lot. So it wasn't just somewhere down the street. So he apologized. He's like, I didn't mean to make you walk that far. You know, you should have just went and had dinner with your cousin. I said, bro, it's fine. I'm a little winded, but it's okay. My feet are hurt and I'm frozen, but it's okay. And then we just didn't have any chemistry. So that was the last time I saw him. We went to like, walked around a bit and stuff, but it didn't go well. So I felt like this isn't working. Yeah, no. I would have went home. I walked from the airport to my apartment one night because public train and it took 2.5 hours. Like, I don't mind walking. Listen, I don't like walking. But if you tell someone I'm going to walk to a nearby bar, I'm thinking like max a block away, right? We were in the middle of Manhattan. There's no reason. I don't want to put this man on blast, you know. I was late, you know, whatever, it's true. But I was adamant on trying to make it work. And it didn't work. So, at least I tried. Oh yeah, say hi to Winnie. Five minutes early is 15 minutes late. Look, the reservation was for 10. I was gonna get to I was gonna get to the restaurant at 10:02. I was gonna get to the restaurant at 10:02. The fact that he didn't want to walk in, he texted, and I remember saying this, and I was like, oh, this is not going to work. He said, I will not step foot in that restaurant a minute after 10, or a second after 10. I was like, so he decided to just dip. He was already there. Fine, it's fine. He expressed his boundaries, and I had to respect it. I can assure you he's not going to be watching this. He does not fuck with me. Mod check, is this guy in chat? You were barely going to be late and he had you walk right all night by yourself dangerously. Boys and L. Sounds like a keeper. Can we get a chance at him? Yeah, it was, you know, and I was apologizing in person. I said, you know, like, I'm so glad I get to actually finally meet you. I'm sorry it didn't work out. We could try again for dinner tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. And it just, yeah, we didn't hit it off really well. But, you know, it is what it is. These things happen. It's no fault of anybody's. Well, I mean, if he really was worried about the time and making sure I was there on time, he could have called me a car or picked me up himself. You know what I mean? I don't know. There was so many moments where I felt like, you know, it could have worked out, but I think at a certain point he just thought that I wasn't going to show up, that I was like, because that's what he said. He's like, I didn't think you were going to show up. I thought, you know, you were going to ghost me, and this was like, I'm like, why? You picked me up from the airport and you met me. We've been talking all day. I was so excited to do this. Try this restaurant and blah, blah, blah. And we were supposed to meet up afterward with my cousin and her friends and do a whole group thing, but, you know, and when I suggested that even after, he's like, no, I don't want to go to these places. They're not my thing. I'm like, why didn't you say that then when I suggested it earlier in the day? But whatever. That's fine. You do you, man. You do you, man. I'm glad it happened because I can't see myself being in a long-distance relationship anyway, if I'm going to be honest. It just put things into perspective. Not that, I mean, he's a different person. I'm a different person. And I'm trying not to be like, oh, all New York people are like this, which they're not. And this was just a confusing miscommunication. We weren't really communicating well and whatnot, which happens. But I don't think my person's gonna be on the East Coast. Sounds like as great as my dating experience. If he wanted the date to happen, he would have switched it up last minute. When he don't touch the power button. Oh my god, she almost touched the power button. Oh my goodness, 1 second. There you go. It was close. She was coming out from the window and my laptop's right next to the window, so she was gonna jump onto the computer keyboard and that's where the power button. Nope, don't do that. So I had to embrace myself. Well, yeah, I even suggested, I was like, do you have another restaurant in mind? Or we can go, I'm like, we could go to a pizza joint and freaking eat in our nice dinnerware. And I don't give a shit, like, I was just happy to be here and be in New York, show me the city, all this stuff. But people, listen, I'm glad it happened because it made things really, really easy. No, this is not an actor, actually. This was a public service person, a firefighter, to be exact. He's probably following the Neil Strauss way of dating. What's the Neil Strauss way of dating? No, he put you off. No, he put you off a long distance relationship. Okay, I'm out. Follow status rescinded. Yeah, I think so. And then at the end of the night, it seemed like he just wanted something, less than serious. So I had to tell him, I'm going home. Please drop me off. Because I asked him, I was like, would you ever do something long distance? He's like, you're an actor. You need to be in LA. I'm a firefighter in New York. I love being here. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. Other things happened, but, they're not worth noting. I mean, I already knew from that interaction that this wasn't going to work, so it is what it was, right? And when you know. When you know someone's your person, you know. So I was very excited to come back to LA and focus on the things that I care about, i.e. you guys, okay? I'll never abandon you guys again. I'll never do this again. I'll never leave you guys. Looks like he could have put it out, the fire that was in the date. Maybe he wasn't man enough to handle 3 ladies. Wasn't man enough to handle 3 ladies. 3 ladies? Who, me? And my 2 other personalities? Fires only happen in New York. Wrote a book around dating, a book called The Game, based on pickup artistry. Oh, hi, Peaky. How are you? I would move to LA for jazz. Aww. Yeah, but when someone says that, they're not serious. They're like, okay, they're not considering that this is probably going to be a long-term thing. So it made it very, very good. What else happened? Oh yeah, so I was willing to kind of try again, not really try again, but at least as friends, see a little bit of New York, from his perspective. We went to his fire station, which the best part is we went to the fire station. That was cool. And we ended up having dinner at the fire station with the other guys and stuff and watching, the fight or whatever. So it was ended up being a good night for me, and I thought it was for him. The next day he wanted me to do a bunch of stuff around where he's from, which I didn't feel comfortable with, so I bailed out on that. And then I said, how about we just go into the city on Monday before I leave? And we just do the New York thing. He said, okay, no problem. Next day I get a text, a long-ass text, talking about how he never wants to see me again. I was like, okay, that's fine. No sweat off my back. Talk about how inconsiderate I was, how this whole weekend went not how I was expecting, and that, I'm canceling last minute, and that he had to go up to this party alone. And I was like, wait, what party? What party? He's like, he was embarrassed because all of his friends were expecting him to show with someone. And then I bailed, and I was like, huh? Anyway, it was a whole long thing. I can read you the text if you want, but I don't want to put him on blast like that. So I said, I'm sorry that, there was a huge miscommunication. I feel like you're right. Things didn't work out the way I was expecting either. But I'm very glad I got to meet and see your life and meet you and see what your life is like here. I wish you all the best. And that was it. So I doubt that he's going to be watching this stream. And if he is, hi, how are ya? Message received. I missed you too, Peaky. How was your weekend? Wow, what a little baby. Did you get to slide down the pole? No, that looks so scary. Leak it! Now put him on blast. He's acting like a little bitch. His party was with his two other personalities. Shoot, Jazz, he saw right through you. Someone consider I knew it was all fake energy. All women deserve respect. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, see, that's why I said there was a severe miscommunication, because had I known there was going to be a party, I think I would have tried a little harder. He would have communicated a little better about it. Because I was like, hey, I want to spend more time with my family. I was trying to let him down easy, you know what I mean? I was trying to give him a little bit of an out. So, but if it was that important to him, I thought he would have brought it up when we saw each other in person, because I don't remember him discussing that we were going to a party with his friends. I thought we were going to a bar. We're bar hopping. So when I bailed, I was like, I really don't want to go to a bar in his neighborhood and then have him try to convince me to go back to his house, you know? And this is a place I've never been before. You know, I can't easily just get a ride like I can. And, you know, I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable, and I just wanted nothing to do with it. And, you know, yeah, so. Okay, do you want me to read the message? I feel bad. Do you want me to read the message? I don't know. When someone tries to, like, what a waste of your time. And I also was kind of put off because he tried to stick his tongue down my throat when I first met him. And I was like, whoa! Yo, relax, man. Man don't know you like that. So you can imagine how I was a little hesitant. I know, now I'm really putting on a blast. So I won't show the message because I don't want to. It's done. It's, you know, we all have our things. Okay? That's assault, brother. No, it's not. I told him I'm good. But I had a great experience regardless. It didn't put a damper on my trip. You're going to have bad dates. And I'm just glad that it was so clear to me that this was not my person, and I could move on with the rest of my trip with my family and meet new people. I got the reference. I don't know the reference. Why do you look like that one girl who sang Adele's Chasing Payments? Trey, who? Who are you talking about? Lots of bad dates. I haven't had any dates. Yeah. It's an old ass video. Yeah, and then I was like, I shouldn't be even sad because somebody else asked me out on a date while I was in New York. And I had to say, no, I'm not. I'm not that interested, please. I'm not interested. So, it's fine. My person's out there. My person's out there. I'm not gonna shed a tear for people who walk themselves out of your life. And you guys shouldn't either. I hope there's a takeaway from this. It's the meme. Y'all getting dates? LA charisma 20 plus 5, too powerful in NYC. Yeah. People, oh, careful. People, higher difficulties will think you're trying to curse them. What's that Baldur's Gate one where it's like charm people get charmed if you're at a higher level. Game difficulty will think you're trying to bewitch them.